Hi, Unruly family. This is my recap for the anime The Witch and the Beast. If you'd like my recaps, please consider subscribing. Elsewhere, some guy offers to walk a girl home after they hear a strange noise. This girl doesn't need a man, so she walks home alone. But she does notice that there are quite a few crows just hanging out around there. No one seems to be following her when she checks behind her, but that's only because the person is in front of her. This thing takes her out in a seemingly painful way, but it determines that it wasn't enough. And has to add more of something. Back with our heroes, they are called to a job by some crazy rich collectors. A specimen from his collection has escaped, and it is incredibly violent. It has already claimed many victims, and Ashaf can tell by the way the guy talks about it that it's not just any old, rare creature. He really hopes it's not a magical beast, but unfortunately, it is. This thing looks like a giant platypus, but it's seriously powerful.
ええ、おっしゃる通り、魔衆でございます。
Ashaf is told that they're supposed to recapture the giant beast quickly and without harming it. Giddo isn't interested in fighting some boring beasts, so she lets Ashaf handle the pet-sitting duties. They are on the clock, so Ashaf has no choice but to handle it on his own. Ashaf tells some guys that matter manipulation is the most basic of spells, but controlling fluids requires a particular knack. Ashaf reveals that he has always struggled with it. Giddo calls him a liar as he uses magic to control a ball of water. Ashaf launches it at the Platyosaurus, but it easily knocks it away. This thing comes after him, but he still has control over the water. He reforms the ball of water and uses it to begin suffocating the beast. Giddo couldn't be any more bored, and the guy who brought them there is shocked when Ashaf explains that the job is done. The rich collector expresses his relief since he hired the right person, and he explains that magical beasts are illegal in this country. He heard that Ashaf would take on any job, and he's glad to see that the information was correct. Ashaf corrects him, however, and explains that they only bother with jobs involving magic. He tells the guy to contact the Order of Magical Resonance if he needs anything else, and they leave. Afterwards, our duo treats themselves to a meal after a job well done, but Giddo has a bad side to it. As always, their past few jobs did involve magic, but they were the equivalent of petty crimes. Giddo is furious, since this isn't the reason she joined the Order. She demands that Ashif hurry up and find her a witch, as anything else is just a waste of time. Ashaf must explain to her that cases involving witches don't just grow on trees, and remind her that their relationship is a give and take. In exchange for helping Giddo achieve her goal, she agreed to serve the Order however they saw fit. They already get priority when cases pop up, so until then, Giddo has to do her job. If she doesn't behave, however, she can kiss any future witch cases goodbye. She agrees to do her job, but points out that Ashaf didn't even need her against the monster. Just then, the two receive a letter from the Order, and Ashaf must use his special ordering to break the seal. Ashaf tells her that it's good news, and they head off onto their new job. Upon arriving at their destination, Giddo assumes that the first person they see is a witch, but the old lady's actually just their client. This lady wants Ashaf to open some little chest she has, and he notices a runic inscription underneath it. Luckily for her, he is an expert at undoing spells, so after that, the job is done. Giddo is furious, as she thought a witch would be involved, but Ashaf never actually said that. He explains that him leaving his coffin behind should have been a dead giveaway, but she just demands to know what the good news was that he was talking about. Ashaf just wanted her to start taking non-witch cases more seriously, and told her to take this little trick he pulled as a learning experience. Giddo, of course, doesn't want to hear all of this nonsense, but they don't have time to argue as their next job has already come in. Giddo will let it slide for now. But as soon as her curse is lifted and she doesn't need the order anymore, she promises to end Ashaf's life. Ashaf wouldn't have it any other way, and he actually looks forward to that day. Some time later, Ashaf reveals that they have had an entire month without encountering a witch. This makes it pretty clear that the day Gido will be able to reclaim her real body is still a long way off. They get their next job, but Gido assumes that it's just more boring, busy work, and tells Ashaf to just tear up the letter. That would be a big mistake. However, as this job is different since it came in a black envelope, the order only sends these when a witch is involved and a big part of the case. This letter reveals that a witch is ending a lot of lives in a distant capital. If that wasn't bad enough, the crimes are described as being grotesque. They will have to travel across an ocean. So he tells Gido to pack her bags when he is alone. We see the Ashafied part of the letter. It reveals that this job involves a witch and grimoire, so it definitely won't be easy. Ashaf seems really concerned, but Gido couldn't be happier. A quick scene shows a burning building with some lady's children trapped inside. But the same lady named Miss Haynes wakes up from the nightmare. She's a police mage and has just arrived at the scene of a crime where the perpetrator just got away. The bodies left behind seem to have been mutilated. And Haynes points out that crazy life ends usually all have one thing in common: unfulfilled desires born from a sense of inferiority. Losing control of these feelings can turn even upstanding people into crazed civilians. The detective she is with wonders why she didn't finish setting up her wards, but Haynes explains that it wouldn't have made a difference. This witch that they are dealing with has the ability to slip right through them. The plan will be to box in the witch to make her cast as many spells as possible, or else they will never be able to figure out her magic. That will just be the first step in defeating her, and the entire city's police force has to take this case slow and steady. A feeble police force can't fight a monster like this any other way. Haynes is the only mage that the city's police force has, but this case is unlike anything they have ever had to deal with, which is technically the responsibility of the Paladin Corps. So he recommends that Haynes talk to the mayor if she can't handle it. If things don't change from how they are now, then the body count will continue to rise. This detective tells her not to blame herself for something that happened to another detective, and she points out that she has handled plenty of horrific cases. People always remember the perpetrators and forget the victims in no time. However, someone ended the lives of people she cared about, and she's now realizing that she will never forget the names of those. Nearby Gido's upset that the witch has slipped right through their fingers, but Ashaf assures her that the witch will come back. Ashaf explains that this case is known as the witch as pastime, grotesque mass, and life committed by a witch. And as of last week, the victim as total is 36. Ashaf wonders what the body count is up to after today's attack, and Haynes hears him just like he wanted her to. Haynes can tell that they know who she is, so she wonders who they are. She wastes no time by quickly grilling them with questions and wondering why they have a coffin with them. Haynes prepares a spell behind her back, but Ashaf can easily tell and tells her to calm down, as they are not enemies. They actually want to help her, and he reveals that he is from the Order. They go to a restaurant after Haynes confirms with the mayor that he requested help from the Order. As they eat, Ashaf asks for all the details of the case, but Haynes wants to hear their story first. They have gotten the mayor's approval to help with the case, but she doesn't trust them yet. Ashaf points out that they are running out of time since the pilot and corpse will step in soon. The mayor's holding them back for some reason, so Ashaf and Gido are their only hope. Ashaf points out that the police forces are not equipped to handle witches, and what they need is an army. That is why global peacemakers like the Paladin Corps handle witches. It's pretty clear to him that the mayor's holding them back to claim the victory of solving the case without them. Haynes is in charge of the case since she is the city police's only mage, but Ashaf can't understand why she's going along with the mayor's stupid decision. Gido has had enough of this boring conversation and demands that Haynes just tell them everything she knows about the witch. That way, she can end the case by eliminating her. Haynes can't understand why Gido's so obsessed with the witch and points out that most people would steer clear of a witch's mass life ender. Ashaf interrupts Gido to give Haynes some politically correct answers, but she tells him to stop. They agree to let her put up a soundproof ward to keep the conversation private, but she reveals that she created this ward herself, and it also allows her to tell when someone is lying. Our two heroes are impressed by this sneaky move, so they have no choice but to answer. Ashaf reveals that they are just trying to undo a curse. Gido is under a witch's curse, so they are looking for the witch who cast it. They have basically nothing to go on, so their search is more or less at random. Gido vows to get revenge, and this word triggers a memory inside of Haynes. Haynes realizes now that their motives are extremely personal, but she can trust them for great and noble causes. Haynes reveals that she was actually lying about her truth-detecting ward, which of course infuriates Gido, and Haynes decides to accept their help. Their partnership will start the next morning, when they will meet back up at this restaurant. While this group of useless anime characters finishes up their long, boring conversation, we see that the witch is back at it again. She takes out another victim in a grotesque way and laughs like a lunatic. I appreciate you viewing my anime recap, Unruly Family. Please let me know what you think about The Witch and the Beast by liking, sharing, subscribing, and leaving a comment.